Yes, guys. Ryjack back here for another video. Yes, it is the international break. There's no actual meaningful football on at the moment. The national teams, it's not very fun to watch. I can't lie. If you support the U.S. like I do, it's really boring. We unfortunately are not very good. So I'm here today to look at Man City's 2026 summer window. I've got some ideas and some players I'd like City to go after. And I think talking about it now is a good time. At least get it out early so we can revisit later on down the line once the season, winds down in the future. So before we get into it, I do appreciate all the support I get on the channel here. We're going for 500 subs, getting close to that every day. So sub if you're new, very much appreciated. I've also got my social links in my channel description, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. There's a Discord for City fans if you're interested in that. Check it out. Now, let me pull this line up here that I've got ready to start. This is, I would say, the core of the team with some opening positions that I think we need to improve on. So you look at it, you see Haaland is the striker. That's obvious. We're not replacing him, and we're not going to find anyone out there better than him, obviously. Rodri is in there at the 6. Reinders, the new signing, is in there as an 8. And I think those two together are probably a very good duo in midfield. And then figuring out who the third one is going to be important going forward for sure. For sure. If you look at the back line, I've got Ryan Aït-Nouri there. I do think he's going to be outstanding for us this season. He's been okay to start, I would say, but I don't think we're going to go out there and buy a new left back or replace him anytime soon. Left-sided center back, I've got Josko Vardiol. He has yet to play for us this season, but in my opinion, he is a must play and an absolute integral part of the back line going forward. There's some cheeky quotes out there about him eventually becoming the best left-sided center back in the world. And I hope that is the case. I do absolutely hope we get to that point very, very soon because we need an absolute rock in defense, and Gvardiol, in my opinion, can be that player. Right-sided center back, a little bit of uncertainty in that area. You have John Stones, you have Ruben Diaz. However, I think Stones will be leaving next summer, and we're going to have to replace him. Maybe you just go with Diaz and you sort of bank on Diaz and his leadership paired with Gvardiol and his superior play, I guess I would say. But I know a lot of City fans are unhappy with Ruben Diaz, so that's why at the moment I have that spot open. Right back, clearly we need someone else. Mateus Nunes, Rico Lewis, not cutting it at right back. I wish we had signed someone in the summer, but we did not. Maybe we address in January. That's always possible. But at the moment, no right back incoming. So I'm assuming summer 2026 is when we address that position. And I'll have that one in just a moment. Goalkeeper, Donnarumma is in. He has not played a game for City, of course. But I'm excited by the prospect of Donnarumma. He's going to most likely change the style we play a little bit. He is far less capable on the ball as Ederson is. However, you're going to get that adjustment no matter who you play at goalkeeper. Ederson is, in my opinion, and I think most regard him as the best ball-playing goalkeeper of all time. So anyone who comes in to replace Ederson, there's going to be a gap. Donnarumma is of the requisite level, according to Pep. Otherwise, why would he sign him? So while we get a step down in ball playing ability, we get an upgrade in shot stopping. And I think, for the most part, I would hope City fans are excited by that prospect. I know goalkeepers are not the most sexy and not the most flair type signing, but we did sign Donnarumma, who most people would regard as a top 5 goalie in the world. So that's exciting. I'm assuming he'll do well, and we're just going to keep him in the goalkeeping spot for the time being. So if we look at the right back position, there's been a lot of links to Tino Livramento. There are other links, of course, to right backs like Vanderson, Wilfred Singo. However, for me, Aït-Nouri on the left, he's a very attacking left back. He can go up and down the wings. He can go into the midfield. I think, at least to me, it makes sense to have a right back that is more defensive-minded right back. And for me, I don't mean to be simple about it, but it is going to be Tino Livramento. He just is. He's going to be England's right back of the future by all accounts. And in the first couple of games this season for Newcastle, he's been really impressive. He also has the versatility to play over on the left as well as on the right. Two-footed player. You know, Pep loves versatility, so he's homegrown as well. I think going with Livramento, just figuring out what we can do to get that deal done, I think that's what City are going to go for. Maybe Newcastle have a down season, don't make the Champions League. They don't have Alexander Isak anymore. That becomes a lot more doable if they don't have Champions League money and they need to raise some money to buy players. So for me, it's Livramento. It could be other players. You never know how the season goes on. We could find some wonder kid out there in South America and buy him that we've never heard of. But for the time being, my 2026 summer target for right back is still going to be Livramento, homegrown right back, Prem proven. Going to cost a lot, but I think it'll be worth it probably. Now let's look at the center back position. Do we buy someone for this position, or do we roll with Ruben Diaz or someone else? I mean, you have Vitor Hayes potentially coming back from loan. You have Juma Ba coming back from loan. Akanji is gone now. Ake will most likely be gone next season as well. Of course, left-sided center back anyway. For me, though, I think the answer is in-house, and I think it is Abdikadir Kusanov. He is the one that I would be extremely excited to roll with next season. Even this season, I hope we see more of this duo in the center back position. Gavardiol on the left, Kusanov on the right. Mega pace, really, for both of them. Kusanov especially, extremely pacey. Gavardiol a little bit more composed on the ball, and Kusanov is like the no-nonsense type center back who's sliding all over the place, making hard challenges, and has that recovery pace over the top. I like that back four. It would be one of the best back fours in the league, in my opinion, and I think this is what we should go with. Especially with a good shot stopper like Donnarumma, this would be fantastic for me going into next season. Now, we look at the midfield. Like I said, Tijani, Reinders, and Rodri are going to be, hopefully, a partnership that really blossoms this year, and we just need to figure out who the other midfielder is. You have a couple options in the Premier League if you're looking to buy. You could go with Adam Wharton. You could go with Carlos Baleba. They're very different players, but for me, they are most likely the Rodri replacement. If, for whatever reason, we can't tie Rodri down to a new contract and, he's 30, maybe doesn't have as good of a season, we need to buy someone who can step in and replace him, sort of like Rodri did for Fernandinho. So the third midfielder is not going to be Wharton or Baleba, in my opinion. It'll be someone in-house. And for me, this guy needs to be a creative midfielder, and this is going to be Phil Foden. It's his best position, for me, is going to be this creative guy in the middle who can score and find open players. I want to see this lineup throughout the majority of the season. I would love to have seen Ryan Cherky in this 10, attacking 8 role, but for now he's injured for a couple of months or so we won't see that for quite a while. Foden, this is your opportunity. Everyone, for the longest time, has said Foden is going to be the KDB replacement anyway, so this is your chance to prove those people correct or make the position your own. You don't have to be the KDB replacement. No one is as good as KDB for City, so this is all about Foden making the position best to his ability and just taking it by the scruff of the neck. I am who I am. I'm not KDB, I'm Phil Foden. So I would like to see this midfield three, and I don't think we need to purchase a midfielder for the starting core. Maybe a squad rotation midfielder can come in. Kovacic could be leaving, potentially. Maybe Nico O'Reilly doesn't get the game time, and he leaves, potentially. You never know. Nico G maybe doesn't get the minutes, he leaves. So there's always options. Bernardo Silva likely leaves. So there is a potential midfield buy in the summer of 26, but for the starting lineup, I'm going with these three. Now we get to the attacking wingers. This, for me, is probably one of the weakest positions we have in the squad. I love Oscar Bob. You guys know that I'm a big Oscar Bob guy, and hopefully he takes that right wing position, makes it his own, and I don't need to worry about that. But at the moment, he's only 20, 21 years old, whatever he is. I think ideally we would be purchasing someone who is more ready-made and ready for this position. You also have the likes of Savinho and Jeremy Doku. Doku, for me, is not good enough to play at City. I don't mean to be negative about a player, but I don't see it. He's a guy who has exceptional dribbling ability and minimal finishing ability. If we could bring down his dribbling ability and bring up his finishing ability or his final third ability, we'd have a great player. But that's not how it works. He is a 5-star skill merchant, unfortunately, and a pace merchant. He's fast. He can go by anybody, but what else is there? Not a whole lot for me, and I don't mean to sound like I have an agenda, but I just have never really got that feeling from Doku watching him that he fits at Man City. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he has a fantastic season and he dominates and he becomes the best left winger in the world. But I don't see that happening. I see him leaving next summer. So for the left wing and the right wing, I think we're looking at buying ready-made upgrades. Savinho as well is another potential you could put in one of these spots, but there's reports out there that Spurs could come back in January. If that's the case, I think we probably would end up selling just because of the amount of money that's being reported. They're looking to go potentially up to 100 million euros. There's just no way City can turn that down, especially if Savinho doesn't improve in his goal-scoring abilities. So I'm under the impression Savinho or Doku leaves. Definitely one of them will be out, and I think Oscar Bob is the one that does stay. But like I said, we are looking to upgrade. So on the left wing, you also have Marmoush, but I'm a little concerned about Marmoush at the moment. I'm going with Rodrigo out on the left. Let's make this deal happen. Maybe he doesn't get the game time this season at Real Madrid. He'll realize he should have told Madrid he wanted to leave, and this City deal actually materializes. Could even happen in January, but I'm predicting summer 26. This is the guy we go for. We can figure out the Marmoush situation later. I know Marmoush is a good player, but he's not been outstanding this season so far. So at the moment, I'm starting Rodrigo out on the left. And then they get the right wing position. And really, there's only one guy for me. He's homegrown, and it's Michael Olise. The guy is absolutely mega. I don't understand how we let him get out of the Premier League and go to Bayern. It was a huge, massive mistake. He was a former City Academy player. Allegedly, there's a release clause in the contract with his intention of coming back to the Premier League. If the right wing position doesn't work out, Oscar Bob, Savinho, Doku, whatever it is, Olise has to be the guy. He brings goals, he brings assists, he brings dribbling ability, pace. He is going to be world class if he's not already. So this is what I would go for summer 2026. You're probably looking at quite a bit of outlay for this deal. But, guys, you can spend whatever you want. It's pretty clear. Liverpool just spent $400 million this summer. They had the 3 most expensive transfers in the Premier League. Like, I don't really care at all about how much we spend. I'm tired of the net spend FC trophy that we win every year. Just get me some players who can impact the game and impact winning. Rodrigo does that. Olise does that. Livramento does that. You're probably looking at close to $300 million in outlay. We'll also have sales, like I said. So in all honesty, it won't even be that much of a spend, in my opinion. But this lineup here absolutely cooks, and it would be my ideal lineup going into next season following the transfer window of 2026. So do let me know what you guys think of the lineup. I like it. I think it's good enough to win Champions League and Premier League, which is what I'm all about. Give me the most important competitions and let City go hard and compete for those. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. There'll be more content coming soon. Hopefully we get over this international break fast and get back to Man City football because I miss it. So leave a like on the way out. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.